Let's talk about painting of life. After your first film, you're writing about a female lead who's also a Muslim. Comparing to Saira from here, it has a lot of changes. When we see Saira, Saira is a independent woman talk for herself. But here, this woman, female lead in painting life is totally different. She find herself and she wants to be herself only in the vacation. So how you handle these characters? You also handled it, in 2005 a woman, a Muslim woman who is a journalist, and now here the woman who is independent but still she's married. She has a separate individual thoughts and things, but she can't express herself. She wants to be with her husband. So how you try do this character arc between from Saira to sound of painting life?
That two characters are actually two extreme character. They have some similarities, but there is a there the ultimate character is very extreme because, as you said, in Saira, she is very open. Open, she can have the freedom to speak openly. She has the freedom to take her own job and to travel. That is because her father is also a liberal person. The Ali Hussein, the Narbadi Venu's character is also a liberal person. So that is why she can able to do as her own because he taught her like that. But in the painting life, the character is different. Her husband is a very he has not any connection with art. He has not any connection with music. He has not any connection. He has not any connection with anything except business. So business and drinking is only two portion. But still, this lady is not separating from him. That is a that's I didn't show why she is not. Many people ask why she is not separating from him. That's an unanswered question actually. It's a the character is like that because I portrayed this character in painting life. The character is a married woman, and she's living inside a patriarchal community or patriarchal society or family. So, but she expressed her interest in art, her interest in culture when she got a little time. When he got a person to talk freely, she shows him that what she have the affinity with the this traveling with these books also. But ultimately, she is returned to a patriarchal familiar family setup. So that is not deliberately done because the character is like that. The character is so I can't change the character like
Was it
it
really
naturally
inspired
happen.
from real life characters or is just a fiction?
It's a fiction actually. It's a
Okay.
totally a fiction character in painting life.
Okay.
But in
And
Saira, as I said earlier, it have a real character. Not a the whole real, but some portion is a real character. I inspired from a real character.
yeah, talking about real life characters in painting of life, the hunter with a gun. So how he talks about, he's also from a marginalized place, and he talk about how he got this rifle and how he lives. I can see that actually inspired from the real life character. So how you fit in the real life characters into your story?
Because when we are traveling to many places, we can see almost similar persons. When we are traveling to Arunachal Pradesh during one time, I saw many tribal community. They have this old man. The character is resembling to a one guy in Arunachal Pradesh. So when I speak with him, he worked as a cook in another place, and then came to his village, and he has a gun. He's going to hunting, and he took the guest reaching there to hunting, and he's singing the songs. So I picked some elements from him and made a fictional character for this film. So the character is totally fictional, but the mannerism
Okay.
is from a guy I already
Met.
met.
Like any books or story, literature work, want to based on that you want to make a film. Have you ever thought of that?
Uh, No, I didn't thought like that because many books, even in many Malayalam books, I am admired. But all the things that when we making a literary adaptation, we need to do a lot of work because we can't adapt the literary book exactly to the film. We need to change a lot. We need to not take the full subject of that book to the cinema because the book may be a very bigger, and the cinema we have only 2 hours. So we need to the important only the important part only. So in a nutshell, the book cannot be taken as full as to the cinema. Cinema is the expert of from the book. So it need a lot of time to rewrite the book to convert the scenario, and I think it is easy to find a new subject because it should be an entirely fresh.
Yeah.
The book should be many people may be read it, so they know the story, what is happening. So when I'm seeing a movie uh, which is based on a book I already read it, then I know that oh, this is the story. But how it is different from the book to the cinema, that's only the curious thing. All other things are already I know. So I think I have not any passion to making a literature work to the cinema. I always interested to do a own cinema. There is a fresh idea, a fresh content. So that's my interest.
Okay. So, coming to Veil Marangal, the last film, which is screened in many film festivals, international film festivals. I congrats for that. So, talking about the Veil Marangal title design, the leaf with the three stages, how you plan to have that title design?
That is the credit is going to my designer, Mr. Dilip Das. He designed the title. When I give this title to him, the Veil Marangal title to him, and then he asked what is the meaning of this Veil Marangal, because this Veil Marangal is not an exact Malayalam word.
Yeah.
It is a combination of two words. Veil is a separate, that is a sun, sunlight. Actually, veil is sunlight. Marangal means tree. So the sunlight and trees, it's a two independent words. When I combine together, it is a actually new word, Veil Marangal. It has not a particular meaning. So my designer asked, "What is the meaning of this?" Then I said, this is a story about the people who are always standing in under the sun. So that is like a tree. When always standing under a sun, a tree has many transformation. When there is a bigger sun time, that is the all leaves will be fallen, and in sometimes the leaves will be the greenery, and sometimes in the spring season it is flowering. So I narrate this idea to the designer, and then he designed this leaf with three colors, and the credit is going to him. He's a brilliant designer. He's an independent designer. He's working with me for my 3 films. And the sound not He's worked with the painting life, Veil Marangal.
Hmm.
So that's how it's happening.
So, in Veil Marangal, the core point is what is home? What is my home? So, as I expect from Veil Marangal, personally, I'm asking what you think is home, because we are the dialogue, the single dialogue which comes in the Veil Marangal, Mr. Master Govardhan will ask Indran that where we go, can go like a bird without any identity. We can go like a bird. We can stay anywhere. So, in your personal thinking, what is home to you?
Home means actually a protection, I think, because when we so many people, there is a lot of people, they didn't have a home. They are sleeping in the road. They are sleeping in the very small shelters. So I saw many people, especially the marginalized people, the migrant laborers, they have not any home. So home is always a concept of giving a protection, not a luxury. Home is actually uh, it is a luxury for some people, but it is a just a protection from the rain and sun for some people. So that is a home. In this movie, if a home is if they're having a home, nobody is coming to evict them from the home. and they can sleep there, they can live there. That is a concept of a home actually. This is I think during this Vailmarangal scripting also, I am also in the process of building a home. So it's just not finished. It's just started. So I know that because in the whole of my life, I am also staying in a rented home, and we are traveling from one place to other place when my father transferred. He has a government job. So when he transferred, we are migrating from one place to other place, and we are finding other home. And when we are settled in one home, then the time to go to other home. So this migration is always I know the pain of uh, what is a home without it. So there is a lot of people also. So that's why I choosing this symbol, the door frame in the whole film, like a symbol of home.
Oh, okay. So, in starting from Saira till Sound of Silence, I mean, Painting Life, you have talked about the eviction and the rights for the land. It was a thin layer, but was not discussed heavily. But in Veil Marangal, it was discussed in a deeper way.
This eviction is actually in daily life in Kerala. This eviction is happened everywhere. So, but it is not discussed loudly. In the Mutanya strike, the Mutanya strike is a very bigger strike for the land. But what is the after effect? It is not actually get a victory. So it's forgotten now. And then the changara strike is also for this by the Dalit people to the land, but still it is going on. Nobody is scared. No government is scared. They are still on strike. It is happening for the years. And the other places like the Moolamballi, there is a eviction of people for a road widening. So these are all happening in Kerala. But the middle class people in Kerala thinks that this is a usual process. They are they they are not surprised on these evictions. They are least cared about the people who has no land. They're least cared about the people who strike for the land. So actually, I always surprised how it is happening in there. The people are striking for a small land to get a home, but the government is not care. The people is not care. The society is not care. That's why in all of my films, this eviction is this eviction is coming as a one or two incident in each movie. When coming to Veilmarangal, this is a basic issue in that film. When they are evicted from their own land, the island, that is not because of the government, but it is because of a flood.
Like,
But after a flood, they lost their own home, their own land, and who will responsible to give them land? That's the biggest question. If a land is lost by a flood or a natural calamity, then who is responsible to give them the another land? Is the government, or they find a land by themselves? uh, that didn't answer anybody. Government said that we can't give to a land alternative, and then they are evicted from their land first, and then they are evicted from their state. That is because of the police atrocity. That's also, if in Kerala still, if you are a black people, if your color is black, if you are looking like a from a lower community, then the approach of police is very bad. So they thinks that you are a like you are trying to robbery something, or you are like using some alcohol. That's a common that's a what is it? The common idea of the
how they that's
common
how
people
they judge
here.
people with the color.
Yeah, yeah, they are judging people with the color. That's the right. So in the secondly, they are evicted due to this color actually from the state, and they are going to the Himachal Pradesh, and at that place they have no land. But for the 2 years, they are working hardly in an apple farm, and on a sudden day, uh, the landlord came and asked, "You can go somewhere else." So that's a terrible situation. So nobody, I think, then only they are going silently evicted. But when the boy trying to take the lamp,
Um,
at that time the landlord is shouting because he touches his body. At that time, the character took the gun. That is for the for escaping from their from this atrocity of this landlord. So in Veilmarangal, the whole element is about this eviction. From the beginning to end, it is eviction. Not only the human eviction, human being eviction, it is also like the eviction of the animal also. When the boy picked the dog, that dog is also somebody thrown out this dog, and the boy keep the
took
dog.
that off. Yeah.
And when yeah, and when somebody dropped the lamp there, and they are picking the
They're
lamp.
taking care of them.
So this eviction is the basic thread. Yeah. So the eviction is basic thread in Vilmarangal. So that's why it is discussed that matter deeply in this film.
So talking about Veil Marangal, how you planned about the lensing? Because in that particular rifle scene, where Indran shows a rifle in front of camera, which is not against the house owner or that farm owner, it is against some kind of power. It's against some kind of power,
Yes.
and also in Perariya also the female lead raise a gun not before, I mean, not in front of Indrajit. The frame was so different. But in particularly Veil Marangal, how did you done the lensing? How you want to do all this lensing?
Uh, I think there's a common pattern to on these films. The Kaduvukkana Neram, then names are known, and this Veil Marangal. During this sequence, there is a common pattern. When I so when they aiming the gun, it is not to the other people. It is
Yeah.
towards the screen or towards the viewers actually. So in Perriator also, the last shot, when the police is ordered to fire, the police aiming the gun to the camera.
Audience. Yeah.
So in Kadubukunanaram also, the gun is aiming to the camera. In Veilmarangal also, that shot is a single shot. Almost all the, it is a, I think it's a around 4 minutes shot. It's a whole a single shot. We done it in a steady camera, and I said that when we following Indians and came back with the gun, when he came back with the gun, we we coming backward with the camera and asking to aiming to the camera, not to the other people. So that is deliberately done because these all are aiming to the viewers. The viewers itself is a society, or viewers itself is a state. We are considering we as the state. So they are questioning us, not to the character in the film. They are questioning to the society. They are questioning to the state. They are questioning to the power. What we can do. That's the aim. So that's why this common pattern followed in all these three films.
So when I saw Veil Marangal, only in Veil Marangal, in your films, in some places, some images are repeating. For example, in Veil Marangal, in the police station scene, where Indran stand in front of Ambedkar, Dr. Ambedkar photo image, and this SI will be standing. Where you compose this kind of frames deliberately. So why you want to give this kind of yeah, frame images to the audience?
It's actually, I think it's a statement. This frame itself is a statement. So we don't need to say any more to that situation. So it's just a single shot with the Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar and an innocent guy, innocent Dalit guy, just in a frame, and a police guy. It is self-explanatory. We don't say any dialogue to addition for this. So it's a self-explanatory shot. So it is framed like that. It is purposefully done. That sequence is purposefully done because we can replace this Ambedkar Baba Sahib Ambedkar photo with the Mahatma Gandhi if we in it because almost all the police station is replaced with the
Gandhi
Mahatma
image.
Gandhi photo. Yeah, but I think I didn't. need to show Ambedkar, not show Mahatma Gandhi photo, but instead of it, Ambedkar photo should be there, because the things happening there is against the constitution.
So even in Perariyadagal, yeah, the Indran will teach the students, the tribal students, the Indian constitution, and also about how Dr. Ambedkar has done these many things. So in all of your films, you have this thin line of getting this. So you, while in writing process itself, you do this.
Yes, exactly. It is in the writing process itself. In Kadubukkunna Neram, when the Indians teaching the tribal students about the constitution, about Baba Sahib Ambedkar, at that time the police vehicle is came to the frame. So it is when we are talking about the constitution, when we are talking about the preliminary rights of the Dalit people, then always the power is entering, the state is entering into the frame. Uh, that is picturing in the Kadupukkunam Neram. Also in Velmarangal also, when we are speaking about the rights of a Dalit, there is the happening is just reverse to that. So these are self-explanatory, and this Kadupukkunam Neram, the teaching dialogues of Indians is already written in the script.
Okay.
So it is pre-planned.
So even all of your films, protagonists have this dream. In Veil Marangal particularly, where he wants to go back to his land. At the starting of the film, where he say that whatever happens, where he was in the island after the second rain, these people used to say that whatever happens, we will be staying here only till we die. At the midpoint of the story, where he started feeling that we should get out of this identity where we don't have any identity, any people, we just go there. And after going there within a 3 or 6 months, he'll be having this dream where I have to go back to my place, traveling in that place. So all these things, even in painting life, in all of your movies, this some protagonists have this dream connection with the dream. So why you want to? What is the connection of dreams and plotting that scene?
Dreaming portion is actually using as a surrealistic method, and also it is a very easy to communicate what he's thinking. What's the protagonist is the dreaming sequence we can use as a purposefully use for two things to show. One is what is his uh, what is his inner mind thinking, and second is it's a metaphor for the surrealistic approach for the metaphor of this film. What is going on next? In the beginning, Veil Marangal, there is a first shoot is the door in the river.
And the water.
It burns. It got fired. It burns. Yeah, but it is a clearly indication of what is happening next, because they lost their home in a flood. Yeah, so these are the this is a symbolizing usage. These streams always we can use it as a symbolizing, and also use it as the what is the mind of this protagonist there. So and also this dream sequence will give the movie a different level of thinking, different level of understanding. So that's why these dream sequences are almost in many films it is repeating.
So I want to ask about before in the beginning we were talking about the art department work of Akasha Tendaniram. In Veil Marangal, I have in the end card the backwater location was Manur Island and Manali, where you have shooten. Manur, I just want to know about the Manur Island, because when I saw Google did, the picture was so different, and also in the end card you have given a credit for the rain department. So how this artwork was done in Veil Marangal?
Actually, this is Monroe Island. It is a very famous tourist place. Actually, tourist place means in the tourist map. It's a small island in Kollam district. It's near Trivandrum. From Trivandrum, it is about 60 or 70 kilometer. It's actually a island which is really sinking. So because of the climate change, now the many portion of this island is immersed in water. So the other portion is also the geologists said that maybe this island may not be lost for more than 20 years. In the future, in 20 years, it will be sink to the river. So this is a peculiar place, and it's a very beautiful place also. When you are Google, you can see beautiful images. So, but we are for the film, we don't need the beautiful image, but there is a the land which is only accessed through the boat, and when a rain is came, the land will be immersed. So I didn't use the most beautiful portions of this island. Uh, that is the rain department. Thanks is giving because we are shooting in the rainy season itself. We waited for the rainy season June July, and then. But we know that even though it is a rainy season, we are actual rainy season. We are shooting. We need some additions. So we need to strengthen the rain. So we used the artificial rain department. So we hire them, and almost all of the shot, when the actual rain is raining, then we supplement the rain with the artificial rain setup also. So that's why the art department worked a lot hard.
So in that island, the whole houses and everything was done by art department.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
The houses for the shoot is done by the art department.
So
it is built by the art department.
The real that incident was real. Because of the backwaters, the whole village was.
Yeah, it was still there is a lot of houses in Monroe Island. There is a lot of houses. There is a panchayat is there, but some portion is still on a threatening of sinking.
Still,
So
yeah. You did shooting in Kerala and also in Himachal and Manali. These places, how did you manage? Because the nature and the in a dead snow and also in heavy rain, all you've done all these things. How did you manage? How you pre-planned these things? Because in first of, not first of, the first in the starting point of the film will be done in the rain, through rain, and then the end of the film was done through snow and everything. The nature thing was totally different. So how do you guys managed it?
for this film, actually, this film shot in the shooting lasted for 1.5 year because
Okay.
we need to wait for all the seasons. We need to wait for the rainy season, and then for 2 or 3 months we have no work. Then waiting for the other season, spring season to come, and then the winter season. The Kerala portion is okay, even though we are shooting in the rain. It is difficult to work a bit because it is an island. It's a muddy place, very muddy place, and all the slippery, and then the carrying all these equipments towards the location is very difficult through the rain. So, but okay, we can manage it because it's Kerala. We have enough the support from the locals and the support from our crew. But when we are reaching to the Himachal Pradesh, in Himachal Pradesh, we shot in 3 seasons. So in the winter season, it was very difficult because we are not used with the winter. The Kerala people, the South people, we have not any used with this winter climate. So during the winter climate, the shoot was very difficult, and our location is a very remote place. We need to carry all equipments by foot on around 1 hour journey. We need to carry all the things, and during the winter it is very slippery. We cannot climb to the hill. So that was actually the very difficult part to shoot. Yeah, but in 3 times we are traveling to the Himachal in spring, in winter, and so there is a small crew, only around 20-22 people. It was actually with who we couldn't able to finish this shoot. The whole crew is helped a lot, even with the artists. They helped a lot. Everyone doing all jobs. If the art department not only doing the art department, after finishing their art department work, they are helping in transporting the equipments and carry the food, supplying food, everything. So it is a teamwork. That's why it happened.
So all of your films talk about the environmental issues and the how people are polluting the nature and everything, and also about you talk about the tribals and everything. Uh, have you ever other than from films in your personal life have you I mean have any you have been with any activist or environmental works you have done anything you're connected with those
Uh, yeah, I am connected with the many associations. They are during their work they are informed me, and I have associated with their many projects. Like then I said, Mr. Kinsung, the zero waste management. So they are associating, uh, and there is a lot of associations, but they are not I am not regularly associating with them, but whenever they need any help like from me, like any my participation or my messages or like, then they approach me, and I will go with the programs, and I do attend many programs with these environmental programs. I do attend. So whenever I get an invitation to participate in any environmental programs, uh, I will take it. I will.
So all of your films goes with the real incidents, and also it has done in a documentary style. For example, Bird with the Large Wings, where you the done these three people who have done the documentary of those children who are suffering. So after these kind of films you have done, you just go back and visit them. Have any that kind of approach? Because after you have done with the film, have you go and meet them? What is their condition right now?
Yes, in Valley's role, Birds with Large Wings, after this movie, uh, when we make the movie, we have a mini collaboration with the local activist there, who is engaged with these people. And after that, I am closely associated with them. So they are thinking on a project like many kids are there. Their parents could not able to go out for job because they need to attend these kids. uh, they can't leave them behind and go to the job. So then these people thinking about a daycare center for attending these kids. Then at that time, I am also attending the first meeting with them, and then we started a uh, daycare center called Snehavida. So it started first in a rented building. Now it has get an own building. So there is the activity is that during the daytime, these parents can take their kid to this place, and they will take care. And in the evening, they can pick them back. So this Snehavid is a very now it is very become a very bigger manner. There is it get a lot of help, and I am actively associated with these people still.
So, in the initial stage of the interview, where you mentioned that you have inspired from the lot of Irani films and also Turkish films, what are the Irani films you have inspired?
From Irani, I always love Majid's films. Majid's films it has influenced me a lot. And Asar Farghadi, in the newest generation, Asar Farghadi's movies are very interesting. And actually, in Turkish films, when I first saw, I didn't remember the director name. When in my life in 2000, 2000 2008, no, in 1998, when the Kerala festival is starting, in the festival I saw first a Turkish movie, but I didn't
Can't remember
remember
the
the.
name. Okay.
Yeah, it's a new director, I think. But
Okay.
and after that, I didn't heard about that director. But that movie, it's about a movie happening in hotel, and that movie make me curious to watch more movies.
So, I guess in one interview, I mentioned that Alexandra Inarito was your favorite, one of your favorite director.
Yes, my favorite directors are actually this Majidi, Nuri Bilge Sayalin, and Alessandro Inarritu, and Roman Polanski.
Hmm.
So these all filmmakers are affected me. They have many of the movies are influenced me.
So I have one question regarding Alexander Inarritu. When I saw most of his films will be with three different story layers, multiple layers, and also come into one meeting point. And also he approached the audience with a very tight script. So how you write? Because at the current time, people are following different screenplay methods, like how they follow Sitfield, Robert Mickey, this kind of screenplay methods they follow. Do you have any screenplay methods? Do you follow any screenplay methods? How
Uh,
is your writing process?
actually not. I didn't follow any method for the films because each script I wrote in a different manner. I never followed a similar path for all these films. Uh, when I writing the Saira, it was a different one, a different experience. And when came to Velmarangal, it is very different because firstly I choose the what is the subject of my movie. It is sometimes a one-line thread or sometimes one incident, and then it developed in my mind, and then I fix what is the visuals and how it is growing. So I keep it in my mind for some days, and then only I started to write. So when I writing, I think I'm writing with a not with my using my brain. I'm only using my heart. So so when I experience the things and then writing, so there is not a similar path of writing. Every writing is every writing of a new script is a new experience. So it has a new method, just a new experience.
While you're writing, or you always have in your mind the audience how they're going to react, whether while in the writing process.
Uh, no. I never think about audience when I starting the writing because I only think that it is convinced to me. It should be convinced to me how it is happened. Is it okay? Is it okay for me when I say when I place as a third man and then I thinking okay, is it possible? Is it possible to grow like this? Is it possible to write like this? And then when I convince that okay, it is happening, then I write. I never think about the audience, how they react it or how they take it. That is the very least concept of me because I think first write a script, it fully impressed to me. I think that the script should be impressed to me, not any others. That's the first point I always think. If I always think that how we can do a film without satisfy ourselves, how we can do a movie for the satisfaction of others. We are thinking, oh, they are watching like that, so we can change it. No, it is not a. I think it is not a good way. We need to satisfy ourselves for a script or a film.
Adding on to that, when I saw maybe this might be wrong or this might be my personal opinion, while seeing all of your 10 films, when I see Perariadavan and also Way Home, you have created this thing, the climax, the end point will come into the front, where Perariadavan climax will be in the opening shot, and also Way Home will be the last climax shot will be in the, it was like a circle where the end point to the starting point. This is the way you write because most of the films you have done have this craft. So this is your style. What do you think?
Yes, a few films I done this type of writing from the end to the beginning and then came back to the end. The Balijarola Bakshar also the photo, the
Yeah.
clicking the camera from it travel to last again to the clicking of the camera. Perriyathur also and Vidre Pulavazhi and yeah, almost all these movies are and Agastyanagaram also. Agastyanagaram also the last scene is the people sitting in a bench and
Yeah.
asking what is the color of
Sort of
sky. Yeah.
right.
So yeah, that is a uh, that's my interesting thing to write, starting from the end towards that's an interesting thing, and I wanted to follow that method in future also.